We are smack bang in what most gardeners call their favourite season. Summer was 6 or so weeks ago, and winter's about the same away. That's right, we're in autumn, and it's the time of year when deciduous trees really shine. So it's about time you got some into your garden. So why should you be planting deciduous trees now? Well, it might seem counterintuitive, they're going into a dormant state. But what they're doing is they're not putting any energy into leaf or flower growth. So when you plant them in the ground, they'll put some energy into root growth. And going into lovely warm autumn soils, you're going to get maximum benefit come spring. You also get to see the exact colour they're going to turn, so there's no hidden surprises. You can do a bit of fun design work with yellows, oranges and reds. So this is the first tree I'm putting in. It's a type of ash tree, a Fraxinus. This variety is called Aurea. It's bright yellow, but it does come in a red and an orange as well. I selected the yellow because I've got quite a grey-green backdrop. Now this is a small to medium-sized tree. It's going to get to about 7 by 7, so you do need a bit of space, and I wouldn't recommend it in a small garden. Planting trees that come in large sizes is slightly different to planting something in a smaller size. Because we've got such a big root ball here, we can be a little bit rougher with it. Anything over about a 500mm pot, I like to take a sharp saw and just cut around the edge like that, which promotes new root growth through here, and it's going to settle this tree in and we'll get much better growth. Now, one of the problems that happens in these squat bags is you get this matting of roots on the bottom. I want to keep some of these larger ones because they're quite important to the integrity of the tree, but all these smaller feeder ones, I'm just going to take those off. That frees up potting mix, which allows roots through and out into the ground. Now you can see this side of the tree is really flat, so I'm going to spin that to the back and all the branches will grow out. Every tree's got a bit of an ugly side and you want to hide it. This is the red that I'm using to stand out in front of the fantastic yellows. This is a type of maple called Autumn Glory. Now this colours up really early in the season and holds onto its leaves for a long time. So you get interest all the way through the season. And then when it's lost its leaves, it's got this fantastic red new growth to it, so it's a real standout. Now this does get quite big, but combined with the yellows, it's going to give us a fantastic backdrop to our smaller trees in front. So these are the small trees I'll be putting in front of our fantastic backdrop. Now this is one a lot of people already know. It's an ornamental pear. Now these are fantastic. They can be pruned as an aerial hedge, they can be left to just be a tree, but they have this lovely pink blush to them. A fantastic tree that also has a nice white flower in spring, so a great one. This one is slightly more unusual and it hasn't coloured up yet. This is a Persian ironbark, or Parotia. Now I've selected this because it has this fantastic shape that turns into an umbrella, lovely blush to the leaves that go a rusty orange. This one is probably the best for a courtyard. Now this is a type of maple. It's called Sangu Kaku, otherwise known as a coral bark, and you can see why by the colour on the stems. This would suit a pot or a small courtyard. And then to finish it off, a crepe myrtle. Now this one's called Ruffled Red Magic. The autumn colour is almost plum purple, and then come spring, it's going to get a fantastic red flower. Planting these smaller trees is very similar to the bigger ones. The hole shouldn't be any deeper than the pot, otherwise it's going to rot the stem, and it needs to be nice and wide for new roots to penetrate. The only difference is you need to be a little bit softer with the root ball, and the reason for that is there's not enough soil to balance all this foliage up here. So if I really disturb it, it's going to put the tree into a lot of stress. So you just give the roots a little bit of a tickle around the bottom, and then straighten the hole. Now with the excess soil, There's no point getting rid of it. I'm using it here to form a bit of a moat, so any water that runs down this hill is going to go straight into the root ball rather than running off. You can do that all the way around if you're on a flat site, and it's a great way to make sure these plants establish really well. Like all new plantings, you need to water them in well. I've put some seaweed tonic in here and some soil wetter as well to make sure it gets down to the roots and help them establish. But I am adding a little bit of compost in with my mulch, because what they're doing is they're sucking all the energy out of the leaves and storing it in the plant, ready for a big boost of growth in spring. So a little top dress of fertilizer now will go a long way. Well, this is a job I've been wanting to do for ages, and I'm absolutely chuffed with the way it's turned out. The best thing is it's only going to get better in time as it establishes to become an autumnal grove. Now, this is quite a large space, but every single one of these trees will be a fantastic addition to any size garden.